So everybody's hyped up about Wight of the Reliquary. Let's see if the card's actually good. Hello folks, Phil Gallagher, aka ThrabenU here for another Legacy video, and today we are going to be playing with Jacob's Wight of the Reliquary. Wight of the Reliquary, that's going to be a mouthful. Nic Fit deck. And Wight of the Reliquary is an interesting card. It's sort of like a backwards Knight of the Reliquary, very intentionally. A really neat keyword here is Vigilance. So you can attack with this large creature that gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard, and then end of turn or even mid-combat, you can sacrifice another creature to search your library for a land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. And this deck in particular is going to take advantage of the ability to tutor up Urza's Saga. Now, Urza's Saga makes creature tokens, which you can then use to sacrifice to get more Urza's Sagas. You kind of see where this is going. And this is also going to be a way for us to go and sacrifice the namesake card of Nic Fit, Veteran Explorer. And we can get a bunch of lands. But this is an aggro Nic Fit build. And you'll notice that the curve here is stopping at 2. Jacob's original build had a couple of things higher up, but I did a little bit of tuning. So the general idea is that we want to be able to abuse the power of Cabal therapy, strip our opponent's hand, while also getting a couple more lands into play. And these lands can do things like trigger the landfall ability of Bloodghast. Bloodghast can repeatedly be sacrificed to Wight of the Reliquary to go and get more lands, which then bring the Bloodghasts back. So we are essentially a Nic Fit deck. Instead of going big, we are kind of looking to go wide with lands, if that is the set of words that makes sense. And the extra mana that we are going to funnel out is going to allow us to activate our Urza's Saga while also playing other cards still. So we have a couple of mana sinks in the deck, most notably Elvish Reclaimer and Urza's Saga. And we're going to be able to make more tokens, find more lands. There are a handful of utility lands in this deck list that we can go and search out. And there are also a handful of Urza's Saga tutor targets. We are early enough in this metagame where I don't know which ones need to be in the main deck and which ones need to be in the sideboard. I am 100% sure that I want Lava Spur Boots in the main deck, and I'm 100% sure that I want Vexing Bauble in the main deck. But, like, do I need that Shadow Spear? Do I need the Pithing Needle the Cage? Or another equivalent Graveyard Hate piece? I don't know. As far as the sideboard plan goes, I adjusted the sideboard a bit. I think people are going to be testing out a lot of Necro Dominance, so I wanted something to help bridge me through the first turn cycle or so, and I wanted something that I could pitch cast and answer a Necro Dominance for free. So these 4 over here weren't originally in the sideboard, but I think given where I think the metagame immediately is going to be going, this does matter. And I thought about cutting the Carpet of Flowers because we are low to the ground. But I think if the plan versus Delver is bring in 4 Endurance and maybe 2 Orcish Bowmasters as well, making this a package that I can board in makes a decent amount of sense. So let's see this in action. This deck might be a little bit cute. Nethergoyf is interesting here. It's a one-sided Tarmogoyf that cares about your graveyard. So creature, sorcery, land are probably pretty easy. And we do have enchantments and instants that we can get in there as well. So the Nethergoyf can theoretically get pretty big. If we escape it, there's some negative synergy with some of the other cards that are in the deck, but hopefully that ends up being fine. It's clear very quickly that Modern Horizons 3 is going to have a huge impact on Legacy. Should you find that you need cards, check out toamagic.com. That's Tales of Adventure. I've had a great time working with them, and they support awesome content creators such as myself. And if you use my promo code ThrabenU, you will save 5% on your order, and hey, you also get free shipping. With that being said, let's battle. All right, we have a hand of lands and spells. I am unsure if this hand actually does anything. I don't have black mana, so this is a 5-card hand. I don't have a way to sacrifice Veteran Explorer. I don't have a good setup for Elvish Reclaimer either. I think despite the fact that this is a reasonable mix of lands and spells, I think I just mulligan this one. Does not feel like it has a plan. This is better. I probably keep this and get rid of the Phyrexian Tower. And I kind of hope to draw like some fetch lands or something that help me grow these Elvish Reclaimers into respectable sized bodies. A removal spell may be a good draw versus Misty Rainforest. Don't really know what we're playing against yet, but we'll start getting information immediately. Goodbye, Elvish Reclaimer. Goodbye, Elvish Reclaimer. What the fuck is this? Up to one target creature phases out. Add a mana of any color. There's gonna be some weird Stifle Knot shit. Unsure. I don't have enough black mana here to like Bowmasters and Thoughtseize in a turn, so I need to pick whether I am Bowmastering or Thoughtseizing. I think I'm going to Thoughtseize and Reclaimer. The information feels important here. Oh! I will take Spell Snare. I will play an Elvish Reclaimer. Elvish Reclaimer in play means that I can Bojuka Bog one of these Uros. Karakas was one of the utility lands that I was thinking about putting into this deck that I did not think I had space to add. That is a very fucking good brainstorm, holy shit. Alright. Yeah, so what's up with this? Is this just a land that is supposed to trigger Nadu in some capacity? I think I'm going to play Urza Saga and pass while holding up Bowmasters and Elvish Reclaimer. Alright, we're getting some action here. There's an Uro. I'm going to respond to that with Orcish Bowmasters. We are unfortunately hitting a Force of Will here. So the disaster case is that this puts in a white land and then removes my Elvish Reclaimer so that I can't Bojuka Bog this thick graveyard. Oh, I see. This is the combo. So it phases out the Uro with the trigger on the stack. Okay, that's cute. So I'm going to Sheoldred's Edict away this Uro in the upkeep, and then these aren't very good at bringing it back, and then I can Bojuka Bog it out of the way. My mana is super awkward here, and I'm about to lose Urza Saga. And my opponent is playing Spell Snare in their deck, so my spell might just get countered anyway. Not the best. Please sacrifice a non-token creature. Yeah? Alright. It's out of play. My Nethergoyf, in good news, is going to be like a 5-ish power creature. I'm about to put land and enchantment into my graveyard. Alright, it is just another Uro coming in hot. Well, this is obnoxious. Oh, and there's more? Yeah, and Aida Swords. Rough. I can't trigger Revolt for Fatal Push. Fucking phase out bullshit. Okay, cool. Oh, man, my mana is so awkward right now. I think I'm just going to make... No, okay, I have a line. It's just fucking weird. Apologies, I'll mute that in a second. So I get Vexing Bauble. Pass the turn. We crack Vexing Bauble to draw a card. And then Fatal Push the Uro because I have Revolt. We found a line. They're still just in the fucking graveyard. Ah, God damn it, it's just coming back. But I did put an artifact into graveyard, so now Nethergoyf can at least block the Uro. But man, I just don't have the ability to cast multiple spells in a turn because of all of these basic lands. Alright. We get this going again. The Nethergoyf is big. I pass the turn. If my opponent has an exile-based removal spell, then escape does not matter here. Brain Surge for the first time on the channel. I don't get too much better at answering an Uro that goes directly to play. I'm so good at dealing with graveyards for Uro. But this weird phasing situation is lining up well against what I'm doing. It is an actual factual counterbalance. Alright, Uro's coming in. Just clearing the top of the library for a fresh draw. Mystic Sanctuary, Return Swords, yeah. But then this filters into white mana to remove my Nethergoyf. Well, this feels pretty bad. I'm at 19. My spells don't really do a ton. I'm going to save this Thoughtseize for a turn before I cast an actual spell to kind of use the Thoughtseize as a counterbalance test spell. I only have like 2 more removal spells left in my deck for this Uro. So I kind of need to get lucky and draw one of those for sure. And because my opponent is playing exile-based removal, despite the fact that I've gone through a handful of creatures, none of them are going to be in the graveyard to make a Wight of the Reliquary larger. Yeah, you got it. I'll make my token. It's kind of hard for me to make. I'm oddly punished for not playing out Wasteland last turn. All right. So 2/2s, 3/3s, with the boots. Equip the boots. I only have 2 lands in graveyard for the purposes of this. I think I'm going to end up taking another hit, so I'm going to go ahead and just swing out here. No. I think at this point I'm just going to concede. I think this one has tipped enough in my opponent's favor. Yikes. So against this pile of exile-based removal, I don't like Veteran Explorer. We're going to turn Veteran Explorer into 2 Carpet of Flowers and 2 Bowmasters as a starting point, and then we're going to find a way to get at least 4 Endurances in here. And Cabal Therapy is pretty bad. The things that I want to like stop are Uros and whatever the name of that new Madara Uchiha land is, and Cabal Therapy is not the best at targeting those. So then it's like, do I want Grafdigger's Cage? Maybe I should not have chosen Grafdigger's Cage because of Bloodghast. Seems like my opponent is going to put Uro directly into play a decent portion of the time. I'm going to try to rely on Endurance and Bojukabog to keep it from coming out of graveyard. Wow, mana does not feel good in this deck. Turn 1 Nethergoyf with minimal power. Very bad mana for casting my spells. I'm gonna mulligan this. Okay. Turn 1 Thoughtseize. Turn 2 Wight. Backed by Wasteland. Sure. Let's try to punch a hole in this hand. Sylvan Library is pretty rough right now. I will be taking that. But my opponent's hand is pretty good. They've still got a swords for this Wight. Not that I have a creature to sacrifice right now anyway. I'm kind of just hoping for Tundra Pass so I can just Wasteland. Nice. I will intend on Wastelanding in upkeep or in response to a Brainstorm or whatever. So yeah, cool. Now, we are not cutting our opponent off of mana directly here or anything like that. I'm just offering this up to Swords to Plowshares. It's going to happen at some point this game anyway. So let's get it out of the way now. All right, not biting on immediate Swords to Plowshares. For sure. All right, now are we going to see that Swords? Now we see the Swords. Vexing Bauble is a card, but I have nothing to force through right now. I don't know that Sylvan Library is the best in an Orcish Bowmaster world, but maybe I need some source of card advantage in this deck. All right, so there's the Uro. My opponent will put in the stupid gate card. Trying to make this creature phase out. I will Sheoldred's Edict. Have you sacrifice a non-token creature. But then, like, they're just going to recast it from the graveyard next turn. So, oh, well, okay. I mean, that's what I've got to draw. That was quite lucky. Counterspell's not going to work here. Goodbye, graveyard. And we'll pass the turn. We top deck straight fire for the rest of the game. Maybe we can win. Manipulation is fine. Is there anything to follow up the land? Seems like yes. Uh-huh. Please don't do it again. Okay, cool. So now, do I crack Vexing Bauble to just get deeper into my deck? I think I need to apply more pressure than what I am doing. That is not pressure. I guess that's pressure. Send in for a 3. I don't think I am going to play this Yavimaya immediately, because it like definitely makes my opponent's lands better. Yeah, you got it. Spell Snare, not a counterspell that Vexing Bauble would have stopped anyway. Graveyard is slowly filling up for Uro. That's 3 of the 5. Uro's probably not happening this turn, but is pretty darn likely next turn. And then a Brain Surge as a follow-up. Fetch to clear as well, and a fetch to put extra cards into graveyard. Just eating a Swords. This is feeling pretty hopeless. Like, I know life totals are still high, but this is kind of feeling insurmountable. And by that, I mean for my deck completely, not like that my opponent has broken the metagame or anything. Yeah. My opponent chose not to use Mystic Sanctuary's ability. Alright, now Bloodghast notably can't be a recurring chump blocker, unfortunately. And I don't have many removal spells left in my deck to stop this Uro. Yikes. I can technically, like, attack there and then make the landfall. Land drop. Maybe push 2 points of damage. Although I think we have already lost this one. Like, it is turn 8. I haven't done anything broken. I haven't touched my opponent's life total. My opponent has a source of card advantage in play and infinite lands. Yeah, we can pack this one in. Today's video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, and honestly, they're just the best at what they do. If you need to keep your deck lists online, this is the way to do it. They have all sorts of different viewing options. You can condense that text if you like things to be tight. You can make them visual grids. You can put them in stacks. You've got all sorts of different ways to kind of view and visualize your deck lists, and they also have some really cool functionality, like allowing you to see playtest hands and even fully playtest your decks. So check them out. All right. We conceptually have turn 1 Veteran Explorer into turn 2 Wight of the Reliquary, into turn 3 Wight of the Reliquary, activate, and like be able to do multiple Veteran Explorer crimes against humanity. So this sounds fine. We are hoping not to be playing against combo with a hand that looks like this one, though. Please not Tundra. Not Tundra? This is fine. So the next hope is that this is fair Underground Sea and not just Dark Ritual Necro dominance. GG's, well played. It is a Bloodghast, which is conceptually more fuel for the Wight of the Reliquary, although I don't know that this is ever going to hit play. It feels like I have other stuff to be casting in the short to medium term. Underground Sea Gamer? Alright. Wait. No! I hate it. I double hate it. There goes my removal spell for it. Also, every card in my hand cares about the graveyard. Every single one. Yeah. Every single card in my hand. Alright. So this is awkward. I believe I am getting Bayou here, despite the fact that Swamp is currently Bayou, because if this gets wastelanded, then I would just have only black mana, which I do not want. Alright, opponent does not have counter spells. So I can start doing the whole sacrifice Veteran Explorer to tutor with Wight of the Reliquary, but I'll miss out on the Veteran Explorer dies trigger portion of it. Is kind of the most important part right now. Man, my entire deck just fucking eats it to Dauthi Voidwalker. Folks, we might be in for 5 rounds of suffering today. I eat 3 damage. Man. So I guess we're attacking for 3. I can get, like, ambushed mid-combat in a way that, like, absolutely sucks for me. Because I can't just, like, grow my creature. Okay, cool. I am actually getting the damage in. Casting Nethergoyf is not the greatest. Let's go new Veteran Explorer and Elvish Reclaimer and Nethergoyf. And we'll probably actually sacrifice the Nethergoyf rather than the Veteran Explorer, although I guess then the Nethergoyf goes under Dauthi Voidwalker. Am I eating Fatal Push? Okay. That's fine. I have Ojuka Bog right here. Okay, so I'm going to Bojuka Bog. Do I sacrifice Nethergoyf and give my opponent a larger creature that can actually block? I think no. Alright, so Boggy, junk your graveyard. I'll go ahead and take this hit. Oh, Bowmasters is really good here. I will just sorcery speed that so that just always is in play. Okay. We beat the Dalthy Voidwalker. Triumph. At a minimum, I want these 8 cards with Shadowspear and Grafter's Cage being things that I can think about as well. So I would like to go down a little bit on Graveyard Reliance, given that my opponent has probably 4x main deck Dalthy Voidwalkers with their build. That build is meant to cannibalize the mirror, like you just hedge against cards like Murktide Regent. So I don't super want to use the graveyard. Cabal Therapies can turn into some of this stuff. I can probably turn to... Actually, do I even care about their hand? Sometimes. Sometimes they combo off and I care about their hand, but I think the battlefield matters more. I probably need this if I am not going to attack their hand. 1 Nethergoyf out. Fuck, I still have 28 creatures? Wow, okay. Maybe I want this over 1 more Nethergoyf. Could be over 1 Bloodghast. This is a hand that contains lands and spells. Is about what I have to say about it. I think it's a good 6-card hand that has the Dryad Arbor as a kicker. Well, okay, I don't think it's a good 6-card hand. I think it is a reasonable 6-card hand. I think I would mulligan this one. Fuck, okay, well. Good thing I hedged against the graveyard a bit. Endurance is perfectly fine. We're going to try to get Elvish Reclaimer going here. And we've got a fetch. If my opponent just goes for Entomb into a Reanimate effect, I will just Endurance and pitch probably Dryad Arbor and move on with my life. Okay, sure. Ooh, a Scrubland. There's white mana. That means that Pest Control could be in my future. Pest Control pretty good against the stuff that I am showing right now. It is a Reanimate. So Endurance, pitch Dryad Arbor as our own force of will for this. Get out. Phyrexian Tower is almost good. I think here I'm going to attack for 1 and then Wasteland Underground Sea. Keep my opponent off of cantrips. 18. And hopefully no cantrips for you. I'm going to put another one of these in play so that I have 2. And then hopefully I dodge this turn and can Bojuka Bog. Hell yeah. That is a fine draw that I'm not quite ready for. I'll attack in for 1, hold up Bojuka Bog. If I don't need to Bojuka Bog, I will probably just get a Wasteland. Nice. Oh, sacrifice tower. Get that secondary Wasteland. Totally fine just hitting extra lands here. Yeah, you can Swords one of these. That's perfectly fine. Now I'll play Urborg and pass with the intention of getting rid of my own Urborg. My opponent does not have any lands. So I'm going to sacrifice the Urborg. I'm just going to clear out the graveyard now so I don't have to keep holding it up. And then that lets me play out some other creatures here. An extra green land is legitimately fantastic right now. Let's get another Bayou. I guess attack for 1. 16. Play white. Play sacrifice fodder. Pass. That's enough for our opponent. Okay, we did some things there despite our graveyard being shut off. Alright, no mana sources, just have to mulligan this one. This plays Nethergoyf into Bloodghast or Sheoldred's Edict and then hopes to be activating an Urza Saga. I guess we keep this and get rid of the card I can't possibly cast. I am not excited about this. Alright. We are getting scammed. I have lost my removal spell. I imagine I'm about to lose. Oh, it is an opposing Nethergoyf. Sure. Don't want more Bloodghast right now. Am I getting dazed? I am not. However, my Nethergoyf is smaller than their Nethergoyf as of right now. And theirs is just going to continue to get bigger faster than mine. I think my deck might need more fetch lands. I've got 4 plus wastelands. I think I just need more ways for lands and other permanent types to hit the graveyard. Yikes. I'm just gonna take that damage. I'm just not really playing Magic this game anymore. Like, I can play out an Urza Saga, but like, even if I top deck more lands, what am I doing with that? I think I'm just going to save my time and move to the next one. So probably want at least this stuff, with these being potentially playable. I don't think I like Bloodghast here. I think I do like Veteran Explorer for jump blocking Goyfs. I think that's fine. I think I have enough. I think in combat, my Veteran Explorers are going to die enough that I don't necessarily need to be attacking the hand. So that can give me all of this, and then I keep like 1 Bloodghast or 1 Cabal Therapy. Keep 1 Cabal Therapy as a sorcery. The mana is so brutal in this deck. I don't think I can keep this hand. This has 3 uncastable cards. This is perfectly fine. Keep this and put the boots back into the deck and start this game on 2 basics. We try to go Reclaimer into Knight, into probably play Nethergoyf and sacrifice it. Maybe clear out their graveyard, depending on if that seems necessary. Okay, it's just land drop and pass. That's perfectly fine. Veteran Explorer, eh? So I can hold up Bojuka Bog or Troll into Animate Dead. I don't think that's my best line, though. Like, I think if I win this game, I win this game because I have Wight of the Reliquary in play. Sure. Alright, we are just getting dazed. Alright, so let's do this Surveil thing. Veteran Explorer can just go to Graveyard. Yeah, and now I'm just in this awkward position where I can continue to, like, play Afraid and hold up Bog, or I can progress my own board in a meaningful way. Awkward. I think I am going to hold up Bog with the potential of picking like Urza Saga or a fetch land or something instead. Finding C. It's a little silly that I am having trouble playing 1-drops. Powder Keg, sure. That makes fetching up Urza Saga considerably worse. It also makes my 4 separate 1-drops considerably worse. Let's sack the dual land and figure out what I'm doing. Phyrexian Tower? Phyrexian Tower is kind of cool right now. More 1-drops. Okay. So this turns this into a more attractive Force of Will target. Alright, it is in play. Yeah, this Powder Keg is incredibly awkward versus my 5 1-drops. Otherwise, this turn's quite good. I think I'm just passing the turn. Not playing out any extra cards. So Fuse Counter goes on here. And I'm going to get put in this situation where I probably have to choose between a couple different cards. There's a Dalthy Voidwalker. I need to respond to that. This is awkward. I can get Powder Kegged in response here. Or no, I can't because this makes mana. I will get a Forest and a Swamp. So this is the point where I choose whether or not I want a 3rd land in my graveyard. It's a little awkward with the Wasteland right there. I think I am going to turn this into a larger creature. I'll pick up the Bog. Alright, then my opponent is nuking this. So then I try to do Nethergoyf nonsense. There is a Psychic Frog for the first time on the channel. Opponent does not have cards in graveyard to give it evasion. Well, Storm is 1. Storm is 2. Storm is 3. Storm is 4. Equip 1 Nethergoyf. Send in with the 3/3 Haster and see if my opponent wants to obliterate their hand to make a large Psychic Frog? They do. There goes another Psychic Frog. And there goes a Bowmaster. Yeah, I am perfectly happy getting a 2-for-1 for a Nethergoyf here. It just kind of sucks that my deck has 4 removal spells. So, like, I just am not going to have the ability to interact with this very easily. And these aren't growing. I mean, even if extra creatures went to the graveyard here, my deck is just not built to be a very good Nethergoyf deck, just by the numbers. For sure. There's a Troll. And some Surveilling. And a Reanimate on Wight of the Reliquary, just as a 5/5 with extra abilities. Yeah, no. Now my opponent can sacrifice one of their creatures for an additional Wasteland or something. I think the Vigilant Body is more important than anything else here. Yeah, no. We can probably concede here. We're not winning this one. All right. We are going to keep this one and kind of try to believe in Urza's Saga. The current plan is on turn 2, sack Veteran Explorer to Phyrexian Tower to play Bloodghast. Off Swamp. Opponent is a hater. I think I am going to take the even trade here. Opponent is potentially on like 60 card mono white Death and Taxes. I would like to keep them off of white. Oh, nope. It's a Reclaimer deck. Or like green, white, lands or lands adjacent deck list. Bowmaster does not kill that. Bloodghasts are not super castable. Bowmaster, not great. So we're just kind of all in on a single Urza Saga against a Wasteland on a stick. Bad place to be. Oh, and we're just going to eat Dark Depths very quickly. And there's a Knight. Yeah, no, we're just dead. I don't have Caracas to look for with this, so my opponent just, like, Dark Depths and activates next turn. Don't have Pithing Needle in game 1. The creatures I make are not larger than... Yeah, no, we just folded. That's unfortunate. So Endurance is solid. Pithing Needle is actively good. Shadow Spear is playable. I probably don't need Vexing Bauble here. It technically has some text versus Mox Diamonds, but that's not that exciting. Bowmaster's not particularly good. Trim, some of those call it good. I could Force a Vigor. I'm maybe not the most excited about that, though. I don't think one land is enough for my deck, especially against a Wasteland deck. We're going to mulligan this one. Oh. Like, this plays a Nethergoyf that isn't immediately growing. I can Fatal Push an opposing creature, and then I can't cast any of the other cards in my hand. We'll go to 5. Swamp Thoughtseize you into Nethergoyf. And even Nethergoyf and Fatal Push in the same turn cycle. Oh my god. Well, I'm keeping on 5, but rough. I don't think I get to keep Wasteland here. I think the other spells are more important. But I like don't conceptually see how I win this game from 5 cards against this deck. Oh. What do you do with this? Oh no, this is just a Knight tutor target. I see. Well, this card wasn't on my radar before today. I guess I'm going to take the Green Sun. I can just Fatal Push Elvish Reclaimer and move on with my life. Yeah. Oh, Tropical Island. So there might be Uro in here as well. Sure don't cast those cards with these lands. Ugh. Alright, I can remember that my opponent has a Swords. It's just going to eat my Nethergoyf relatively quickly. No, I specifically got rid of that card. Yeah. That is not a land that allows me to cast 2 spells this turn. Yeah. So I can either take 2 life when I eat Swords, or I can put a creature into my graveyard for the next Nethergoyf. Okay, so nothing's phasing out. Alright, so opponent is just going to hold up Reclaimer activation, 1 land currently in graveyard. And my opponent can potentially tutor up another one of those gates to phase out their creature. And I can't play both of my spells this turn, so I'm just falling further behind because I cannot cast my spells. Alright, so we're going to pass the turn, and then in response to Elvish Reclaimers... Well, I probably let them tutor. Yeah, I think I'm going to let them make all of their decisions, and then edict away their creature. I will also gain exactly 2 life, not 3 life. Please sacrifice a non-token creature. Yeah. And this happens. Oh, no, it does not happen. That's not Dark Depths. That's good. Dead crop rotation. Send in the Goyf. 15. Play the Goyf. Am I dead? It feels like I'm dead. I'm going to send it to Graveyard. It's not making the difference between me surviving Merit Lage and not. Hey, not dead. And what the hell is in my opponent's hand? It's Fairy to shrink my Nethergoyf. I don't know why we did that at that speed, because the escape is not happening with the number of cards that I had in my graveyard. Let's see, am I immediately attacking into Endurance? I guess I play this pre-combat. Send it. I'm not. Am I dead to crop rotation? I am not. Okay, cool. I'm not going to say that I am happy with this, because I am miserable. However, we are not immediately dying. That's the good news. That's a green sun. That can get a Knight of the Reliquary. And it does. So that represents Dark Depths immediately. I don't have Caracas. Eldritch Edict does not beat Merit Lage. Fatal Push is too late. Alright. 3 power. Fetch Dryad Arbor. Sacrifice Dryad Arbor to Phyrexian Tower. That puts a creature in the graveyard. 4 power. Please block my Nethergoyf. Yeah? They did not. So let's increase my power here. I'll take the Surveil land. Shadow Spear is not a long-term answer to these problems. I'm going to put that in Graveyard. That increases my power by another 1. We'll call that a turn. The theoretical Wasteland that I could get enters tapped, unfortunately. So that is not going to do it for me. Things have double Yavimaya. All right, here we go. So the Flagstone gets Savannah, and the Knight gets Dark Depths. My opponent gets their 20/20. I guess I could draw the Shoulder's Edict and choose Token. I guess that's the current out. Sack this Phyrexian Tower. I'm bogging now. I don't really want to Urza's Saga now. I guess I will bog now. I don't want to Urza's Saga because if I draw Endurance, I need to cast Endurance, but then that stupid Madara Uchiha card is just going to get me again. It's just going to like cause my blocker to phase out. I can get Revolt, Fatal Push the Knight, and then die to 20 power in the air. GG's. All right, this is a perfectly reasonable hand that I will keep. I also believe that I can just begin this, or no, I can't. I want to Bayou so that I can play Urza Saga as my land on turn 2. Because that's what I'm going to sink my mana into. Cabal Therapy, target you, probably just name Brainstorm. It is not Brainstorm. It is, in fact, the opposite of Brainstorm. So my opponent's going to play a Fable of the Mirror Breaker on turn 1 in all likelihood. Oh, they were just going for the Hearse for Cabal Therapy. Sure. We're not going to be the happiest about how this turns out. Does mean that I don't get to play Urza's Saga immediately. Unless my opponent messes up. In which case I do. Yep. So I am giving my opponent extra mana here. But that's fine. So, Cabal Therapy. Target you. I get to take 2 of these cards. I am probably taking 2 of Fury, Broadside, Fable. I think I'm starting on... I think it's Fury and Broadside. All right. Oh, there's 2 Fables? Well, that's awkward. Cabal Therapy, target you. Sacrifice Veteran Explorer. Yes. I will pick up a forest and a swamp. The opponent gets 2 mountains. Broadside is the recursive removal. I'm going to select Broadside here, despite the fact that multiple Fables is a very good thing. I need more gas off the top of my deck. Like, I need a play for next turn to probably stay competitive in this game. I'm also just going to die to a Blood Moon effect. All right, so there's a Fable. Come on, deck. No. So I have 5 mana and nothing to do with it. That's tragic. We'll see if my pile O Urza Saga Construct tokens ends up beating my opponent's board. This unlicensed hearse can become very big. They can loot to better things. I don't have Shadow Spear in game 1. That's over here in the sideboard. I think Shadow Spear would handily win me this game. So they have looted through a couple of these things. And we have a Rabble Master. So Rabble Master copied by Reflection of Kiki Jiki represents a very large amount of damage very quickly. My opponent potentially just missed 4 points of damage. I don't think you need to hold up Hearse given what you have seen so far this game. Like, it's not like you need to protect your hand from Flashback Cabal Therapy anymore. It's very clear that I don't have anything to do with my mana. Alright, so play new Urza Saga, play a 2/2. Don't have any Silver Bullet land like a Tabernacle here that can just spin the game. So my opponent gets further selection. Broadside probably feels like the dream here. Oh yeah, they just kept all their cards. That's not good. That gets rid of 2 Urza Sagas. Yeah, okay. Yeah. This is rough. I don't think I like Vexing Bauble. It impacts artifact mana. That's not nothing. Impacts Fury. I need this. Need these. I may play Endurance or Bowmasters as additional bodies. Bloodghast not blocking is such a big deal here. Bowmasters can ambush creatures. I guess we're playing that. I'm going to eat ley lines and my Nethergoyfs are going to suck, and I'm going to be sad. I don't know that I can board them out. I think I'm getting rid of Bloodghasts. Maybe I try to cheese a win with Vexing Bauble, just shutting off artifact mana. And we'll just ever so slightly hedge against Chalice. I could play more Endurances as well. No. I guess. Keep multiple Urza Sagas and hope that I can ride Discord plus double Urza Saga to victory. Yeah. Alright. So let's try to tear apart this hand. Why the fuck did you keep this hand? Holy shit. This hand is terrible. I'll take the Blood Moon because I'm on an Urza Saga-centric hand. My opponent has kept a 1-lander on the strength of a Leyline of the Void. I fully do not believe that is correct. In before Ancient Tomb is their top card, and nothing matters. Cabal Therapy. Target you. Broadside. They did just top deck a soul land. Lol. Alright, Urza Saga, pass the turn. Top deck your Blood Moon too. Just absolutely fuck me. Alright, no, cool. Bowmasters is not a good draw here. So we're going to pass the turn. And then next turn, I will make 2 Urza Saga tokens. I will put the booties on one of them, and we'll go from there. Alright, seemingly no play available. You know, there are things like Dead Gone that could still happen here. So 1 power creature, 2 power creature. I could get Vexing Bauble so Fury can't be pitch cast. The boost just represents so much damage, though. I think I will let my opponent Fury one of them, because this represents haste for the token that I create next turn as well. I think that's too important. All right, send it. All right, opponent just takes it. They can eat their Blood Moon from graveyard. Did he going away? Oh, God, that feels bad. All right, there's an Evoked Fury. Got the Ward trigger. Opponent pays for it, and they nuke the one that is currently equipped with boots. Okay, fantastic. So in theory, if I get Blood Mooned, which basic do I need 2 of? Black versus potential green. Are either of those in my deck? Okay, neither of those are in my deck. I will accordingly take an extra black here. Get Swamp. Make Urza Saga Construct token. Opponent does not have anything to crew unlicensed hearse as of right now. So I can just attack in for 7. Opponent is at 6. Eat the stuff from your graveyard. That's fine. Yeah, so my opponent lost that one when they kept their opening hand with 1 land and Leyline of the Void. Like, they lucked into some mana afterwards, but they just did not play a game of Magic there. Okay, on the draw, my Thoughtseizes and Cabal therapies get considerably worse at disrupting what my opponent is trying to do, and I might run into Chalice on 1. I'm probably just going to play Endurances as additional bodies and go down some number of 1-drops. If my opponent is going to aggressively mulligan towards Leyline, Nethergoyf also gets worse. When they don't have Leyline, though, Nethergoyf is pretty reasonable. The Vexing Bauble makes a lot less sense on the draw because the artifact mana comes down before it now. Let's try this. That is no black mana to cast Cabal Therapy. This hand does not play Magic a huge percentage of the time, either because I get Blood Mooned or because I don't draw black mana, or both at the same time. I don't think this one is capable. Okay. This one has Force of Vigor for a Blood Moon. This one has turn 1 creature, turn 2 Urza Saga. It is not exciting. I'll keep it, pitch the boots, and hope for the best. Sure. It is a hearse. I don't think I eat that immediately with Force of Vigor. I think I'm just going to pass the turn with Fatal Push available, rather than play out Nethergoyf immediately. Play a Blood Moon. Let me evenly trade with Force of Vigor. We are chillin'. That's weird. I already have an answer to Blood Moon? I could just Surveil land here into Urza Saga. I could also just take this out and then play Nethergoyf and Urza Saga. Worth 2 cards? I don't know. So I'm now much worse against Blood Moon. So I think I am just going to Surveil land and try to make this Nethergoyf better. That goes to the yard. Did not succeed in making the Nethergoyf bigger. Wight of the Reliquary. No creatures in graveyard to grow it. I think we're working towards Urza Saga is better. Play our aggro creature. It's maybe outside of instant speed red removal that my opponent might have. Alright, no immediate play. So here's the 4th mana. Seems like I am about to eat a Fury. There's a Dead Gone. This is going to start growing this, which is nice. Although I'm probably a couple turns away from putting this into play. Wasteland is a card. I don't think I'm interested in that. I'm always playing this land drop. I think I'm just holding up Urza Saga. It seems like I am going to be working towards Shadow Spear. Could be wrong. Alright, Fatal Push is dead. Alright, opponent is staying the aggressor. I will take 6 this time. Going to 13. And let's start making creatures. I don't want more wastelands. I want more colored mana pips. So make creature. I could try to force my opponent on the defensive by getting boots. And just attacking for 7, which is kind of like a 2-turn clock if you look at it sideways funny. I think with another creature here that might be reasonable. Let's go for it. Dead Gone messes with this a little bit. Yep, there's Gone. I still think I am going to send in for the 2 and just take 6 and then hope to crash in with some hasty creatures and steal this game. I'm at 7 after this one. That is counterable by Chalice of the Void. So let's go bam and bam. Play Wight of the Reliquary. I get to give it haste. See if we get hit with yet another Dead Gone. We don't. Okay. I'm going to wasteland this Ancient Tomb. So I can attack for 6. This has Vigilance. I can block, or alternatively, I can block with Construct Token and then sacrifice it. I think I like that better. I think leaving back the extra body is safer. I've probably made it harder for my opponent to hardcast another Fury. It is a Gone. So I can sacrifice a creature here. Like, I can sacrifice this and get Dryad Arbor and then have a chump blocker or Fury. I think I'm into that. All right, so there's Dryad Arbor. Oh, fuck, it enters tapped. Oh, damn it. Just new card things. It is not actual factual Knight of the Reliquary templating. So I'm going to die to anything that deals 1 damage directly to my face, such as a Goblin Rabble Master. All right, I'm at 1. You know, show me your Fiery Confluence or whatever as your last card. Negative. I have 4, 5 damage, 6 damage if I sacrifice Endurance. So I'm just not killing this turn. Hopefully that's fine. Oh, fuck, I had a lethal line. Play Endurance, Dryad Arbor, equip here. Or no, I lose 1. The Lava Spur Boots would make this 3 power. The 3, 6, plus 1, 7. All right, I'd be putting a creature into the graveyard, so it'd still be 4. Yeah, fuck, I had a lethal line. Okay. Nope. So I'll just send this in. Pass the turn, have 3 creatures available. Dead to Fiery Confluence. Not dead to Rabble Master. So Kenzen. I beat that. That's fine. So my opponent sends in with everything. I cast Endurance. I will nuke your graveyard. I will block and block and block. I will sacrifice a thing. I will pick up an Urza Saga. And then I very easily have lethal. All right, so I missed lethal, and then I found lethal again. All right, so I don't think that league went well. I think that much is obvious. So let's talk about some things. Basically, I think the mana is bad. I think there are an exceptional number of colored pips in this deck list, while also trying to play Urza Saga, Wasteland, and Phyrexian Tower, and also playing a very large number of basics to enable Veteran Explorer. And all of these 1-drops were just kind of like running into these awkward combination of mana pips that I could draw. So at a starting point, the mana was awkward. Beyond that, I was running into this problem where an absolutely massive percentage of my deck list has to do with the graveyard. And because things like Riscaminator are so popular right now, I was running into so much incidental hate, be that Leyline of the Voids or main deck Douthie Voidwalkers or whatever. So I think the fact that our mana is clunky and graveyard hate is incredibly powerful against us, and we are playing some number of cards that aren't really legacy power level all at the same time, I think just kind of led to the fact that I felt like I was clunking around in comparison to my opponents. I believe we never got a Bloodghast into play, and I believe we boarded them out in almost every round. Wight of the Reliquary looks like an okay card. This is maybe not the best home for it. Nethergoyf was actively terrible. This is not the deck for it. We just did not put enough things into the graveyard for this to be like a 4/5 or bigger early on, and for it to actually be a threat. So if I were to play this again, I would, I guess, try to smooth out the mana and then try to find replacements for these 8 cards. Preferably some number of things that don't necessarily mess with the graveyard. Although I think it is just better to scrap this idea, say like, okay, this was an experiment, this is not the way to play these cards, like Nethergoyf needs baubles and cantrips and more fetch lands. Bloodghast is maybe just not the right power level despite the cool synergies here. And I don't know, like maybe we weren't getting powerful enough stuff with Wight of the Reliquary. Like intending to get Urza Sagas and Wastelands and Bojuka Bogs is fine, but we didn't have the like Maze of Ith, Tabernacle, Glacial Chasm style things that often just win games when you get land-based tutors. We did not have Dark Depths combo in here. So I'm going to give this one a thumbs down. That was a rough league. Regardless, I hope you all enjoyed, and should you need some cards, toamagic.com, promo code ThrabenU to save you a little bit. I'm beat. All right, see ya.